Hello cyclists! Today a new model from one of my most favorite brands from Belgium, from Cowboy. It's the Cruiser bike. I love the Cowboy bikes because they are super disruptive, very innovative, and I just fancy the design. So every time I see a Cowboy bike on the streets, you immediately recognize them, like even from far away, because their design is so distinctive and so special. And every now and then there's a new model or a new feature or a new accessory, and Cowboy has always been very sportive, so the sitting position and the whole riding experience. But with the Cruiser, they introduce a more upright sitting position because the new cockpit, as you can see, something changed, and also the handlebars are a bit more bent backwards and the saddle is more comfortable. But besides that, how does it feel to cycle this beauty? Is there anything new? The Cowboy Cruiser is a power package. So the moment you tip the pedal, just a teeny tiny bit push it, then you get all the support. And I have to admit, I forget how powerful this motor and this concept is. And yeah, I'm surprised. So overall, the Cowboy is really for people who want a very sportive, very powerful bike. And there are not really modes of pedal assistance you can choose from, as you probably know from other bike manufacturers or other motors or concepts. So with Cowboy, you can only choose in the Cowboy app different settings, I would say. So you can switch off the motor completely, and then the Cowboy feels like a regular bicycle, but you have to keep in mind it's a single speed. And you have to be sportive because the transmission is not like super tough, but you need at least some pedal power to start cycling. But it's easy to reach even more than 25 or even 30 kilometers, even without the motor. And then you can choose the eco mode, so you do not get all the power and you have to exercise more, but still absolutely enough and still very sportive in my opinion. The adaptive power, that is actually what I chose, is in my opinion the most innovative and most interesting option, because there is a lot of sensors involved and a lot of software and a lot of intelligence, but a sensor measures like up to 200 times per second how you're pedaling. So it can tell if there is an incline, or if it's harder for you to pedal, or if it's easier for you to pedal. And therefore you just get the right amount of support. That also means if you do not need so much support, the battery range lasts longer, and Cowboy says up to 25%. So the Cruiser is definitely much more relaxed concerning the sitting position, but it's not like completely upright on a classic Dutch bike. But for me, absolutely, if I compare all the different Cowboy models, this would be my perfect choice because I see what is happening around me, and that's very important for me. And also, like, my body feels more comfortable if I do sit more upright, and the saddle indeed is very comfortable. I tried some inclines and it's super easy with this strong power package. It's really easy to climb. I mean, we do not have like super steep hills here in Hamburg, but there are every now and then some inclines where without a motor you would really struggle, but not with this bicycle. There are indeed a lot of smart options and features you can choose from in the app, like the theft detection or an extra service package, so the peace of mind package. But of course you have to pay 199 euros extra. I know some Cowboy cyclists who also do tours with their Cowboy bike, so don't be afraid, a single speed could also work if you are looking for a bicycle where you, for example, during the weekend, do a tour, like discover the countryside. The tires are a bit broader and therefore work a bit like a suspension, because the frame's an aluminium frame and therefore super stiff, but I felt really nice even when I was cycling over cobblestone. but there is no profile, which means it sticks really good to concrete. And also I felt quite okay on gravel stone. Of course, every e-bike needs a battery, and the battery is located here in the rear, almost part of the frame, and it can be taken out. So therefore you're like super flexible. It has 360 watt hours. That gives you a range of up to 40 to 60 kilometers. Of course, always depending on how heavy you are, how you cycle. Are you more moderate like I am? I only cycle like 18 kilometers an hour because then I do have a green wave in Hamburg. Or are there many inclines? So for me, it was always like 60 kilometers, the range. Something that I really love, as I said earlier, is the design, of course. I love the integrated lights in the front and also in the rear here in the battery. But the thing I don't like is it is not compliant for the German law. So when you do buy a bicycle, a Cowboy, you get extra lights for the front and for the rear, and you have to attach them. Of course, it's cool, you can charge them via USB, but still, I mean, every time I have to go out, I have to take the lights with me. If you do have an e-bike, I mean, I really have to talk to Cowboy again, because why? Why is it not sufficient? So that's definitely a down point for me. But speaking about the design, I really love the internal cable routing. It's just such a beautiful solution. You do have only the two little cables from the brakes and then they disappear. Just beautiful. Also very beautiful are, of course, the brake levers. They are a piece of art in my opinion, and also the discs. They work really well, of course, but they also look really beautiful. So the whole design package, the beautiful frame, no welding signs, the beautiful branding. For me, in my opinion, of course, it's very individual, but I really love it. The only down point as well is that the bikes have become more expensive. So this bike costs now 3,500 euros. Every now and then there is a promotion, so I would recommend check out the newsletter and follow them on social media. But definitely a quality e-bike. So I give my thumbs up. I would say check out Cowboy, and if you did like the video, subscribe to our channel.